This year, we saw extreme weather across the globe, deadly wildfires in Hawaii and Canada, record-breaking tropical storms slamming California, severe drought and atmospheric river storms. We even saw apocalyptic scenes in New York. Remember this, when the smoke from the Canadian wildfires socked in the city with all of that smoke? Renowned climatologist Michael Mann joins us now. He's a professor in the Department of Earth and Environmental Studies at UPenn. He's also the author of the book, Our Fragile Moment, How Lessons from the Earth's Past Can Help Us Survive the Climate Change, the climate crisis, I should say. And Michael, great to see you as always. Really appreciate it. What did this past year tell us about the state of the climate right now?
Yeah, thanks, Jim. It's good to be with you. And what it told us is that the climate crisis, it isn't somewhere in the distant future. It's here. It's arrived. We are seeing deadly and damaging and costly climate impacts now. And the question isn't whether we are going to avoid dangerous climate change. It's here. The question is, how bad are we willing to let it get?
Yeah, I mean, those it looked like a scene out of Mad Max Fury Road, those images of what took place in New York, I mean, this past year. And I think that's when a lot of folks on the East Coast really sort of woke up and started to smell the coffee, like the folks in California have been dealing with for some time. A lot of folks out west, not just California, but all over the West. What do you think needs to take place for the U.S. to transition away from fossil fuels, do you think?
Yeah, and let me just say, Mad Max Fury Road, that was actually filmed down in Australia. I was there 3 years ago during what has come to be known as the Black Summer, when they experienced unprecedented heat and drought and wildfires, like the ones we've now seen in the United States. What's that?
Yeah. I said they've had it too.
They absolutely. And here in Philadelphia, where I live, we had the worst air quality in the world for several days last summer because of those Canadian wildfires that you mentioned. So, what we need to do, is act. We need to reduce carbon emissions. We need to get off fossil fuels. We need policies that'll get us there. And we need international cooperation and coordination. And we didn't really see that at the COP28 summit last month. It was a disappointment to many of us who wanted to see a commitment to phase out fossil fuels, a commitment to end new fossil fuel infrastructure. These are the things that have to be done if we are going to stay within the carbon budget that keeps warming below a truly catastrophic 3 degrees Fahrenheit. We only have a few years left at current emissions before we commit to that truly catastrophic level of warming.
And so you mentioned the COP28 summit, and you're right, there are a lot of environmentalists, climatologists, folks who study this issue who are very disappointed in what took place at that summit. It didn't go far enough in the eyes of many of those critics. But take us into the future, if you can, a little bit. What do you see happening perhaps in 2024 and the next several years ahead? Are we going to continue to see this escalation of the climate crisis that we're in the middle of in this world?
Well, it's the Christmas season. Many of us have seen A Christmas Carol. We know, that there was the spirit of Christmas future. There are versions of our future that we can see that are truly catastrophic, where, we will see ultimately the destabilization of our civilization. That is a possible future, but as in the great, Dickens story, the great Dickens novel, we still have the ability to change that future. And what we need to do is reduce carbon emissions by 50% this decade, get them down to zero by the middle of the century. It's doable. The obstacles are not physical. They're not technological. At this point, they're still only political, and political obstacles can be overcome. Yeah,
there's a lot of bah humbug when it comes to concerns about our climate, but they are real, and we saw it happen this past year, and we're going to continue to see it, and we appreciate you coming on as always. Michael Mann, we'll have you back soon and continue this conversation into the new year. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Jim.
Good to see you.